Hey YouTube, what's up? This is B Mike from Empire Zero doing a deck profile of my disaster build or chaos build, whatever you want to call it. Let's get started. First things first, triple darkness metal, standard. Double wyvern, reason I don't run 3, gets too cloggy. Double light pulsar, 3 is a bit too much, 1 is not enough. Triple Veiler, in this format where Inzektor's are ruling the world, you gotta do it. You gotta negate those effects, even outside of Inzektor's decks. These get the job done. So much heat for this card, DD Crow, but at the end of the day, it gets the job done. You know, nullifies Pot of Avarice, Miracle Fusion, stuff like that. So, team player, Drago, play around this card so much and hinder my opponent so much. If I'm going against a deck that doesn't special summon light or darks, just side them out. Dodger, just because everybody and their mama's running around with Solemn Warning and Judgments, but mainly the warnings. Sangan searches out the DD Crows and the Veilers, and it's really good against the Inzektors because they like to pop everything on the field, and if they go pop, they pop the Sangan, get the Crow, Crow the Hornet. My Divine Dragon, this baby puts in a lot of work, best combo ever. You pitch the Light Pulsar, get the Darkness Metal out of the grave, remove this card, get the Darkness Metal on the field, bring the Light Pulsar back. Exploder Dragon, just because this Exploder Dragon puts in a lot of work, gets over, you know, all the beat sticks without hurting my life points. There's the Eclipse Wyvern if you were looking for it. I only won 1, 2 is a bit too much for me, for my playstyle. 1 gets the job done a lot. I'd rather not, you know, have Darkness Metals removed and then not have a way to get them back. Yes, I run Light Pulsar, but at the end of the day, when I play Future Fusion, one of those Light Pulsars hits the graveyard. Just my preference. I run a single copy Delta Flyer. I don't run 2 just because Delta Flyer, I mainly use them for 6s, 7s, and some 8s. But like I said, usually the monsters that I have on the field is a Light Pulsar and a Darkness Metal. This card becomes useless if I, you know, just have a Light Pulsar on the field. Single copy Dread Dragon. Like I said, would rather run 1 Dread and 1 Delta than double Delta, just because of the stars difference when I'm tuning. He hits the 6s and he hits the 8s easier than Delta Flyer does. So, again, my preference. For spell lineup, standard stuff, nothing really needs much explaining. Dark Hole, heavy. Gold Sark, the reason I play Gold Sark, yeah, I have to wait 2 turns, but I'd rather not play a Duality. Duality is a good first turn card, but at the end of the day, can't special summon, and I love to special summon. Single copy Book of Moon. Future Fusion, just because if you're running a Dragon deck, you gotta have a Future Fusion. If you don't have Future Fusion in a Dragon deck, there's something seriously wrong with the picture, and you need to reevaluate, you know, your deck. Smashing Ground, just to get over monsters that my Darkness Metal can't get over. Like I said, Darkness Metal is the strongest card in my deck, and I can get it off easy. Most decks, their highest monsters like, what, 19, maybe Caius being 24. But like I said, there's not a lot of cards out there that can get over my dragons, but for those that do, Smashing Ground. Mind Control, just because it's Mind Control and I do run tuners, sometimes I will take the Hornet from them. If they have the Hornet on the field, take the Hornet and Exceed, and just keep the Hornet on my side of the field, just so that's 1 less Hornet that I have to worry about. Monster Reborn, standard. Double copy MST. I'd rather not run a triple copy just because everything's chainable this format, you know, and people are setting a lot less and, you know, using a lot less traps. With lances and chalices going around, you know, there'll be times I MST and it's a freaking Chalice or a Lance, so I'd rather just run double. I barely see them, but I see them when I need them. Last spell, Foolish Burial, just in case I don't get the Feature Fusion. Very helpful, puts in a lot of work. Trap line up. Again, standard. The Solemn Brigade, double warning, and the Judgment. No explanation needed. Fiendish, very standard. I see all decks playing Fiendish now. Very, very standard. Bottomless Trap Hole. I run a single copy Bottomless Trap Hole. I side the other one. One is perfect for me, especially against, you know, decks that have that 19 and over or the 15 and over. That's just me. Single copy Torrential. I'd rather run one Torrential over two, just because I do run big beast stats. You only Torrential when you can't get over what your opponent's putting on the field. That's what I believe. If anybody believes otherwise, you know, that's them. But me, you only Torrential when you can't get over what your opponent's doing on the field, or you need to stop what their combos going off. Last but not least, single copy Call of the Haunted. I'd rather one call over double Torrential. People tell me, why don't you just take out the call for the Torrential? Call puts in a lot of work, especially with the Sangan in the deck, and also Light Pulsar. They go MST. Chain Call, grab the Light Pulsar, his effect goes off. If there's a ruling that says I can't do that, let me know, but to my knowledge right now, I can do it. So, loving it. Let's move to the extra deck. Everything standard. Single copy 5-head for the Feature Fusion, of course. Ironically, this card really doesn't see a lot of play. It's only there for the Feature Fusion, but when it does see play, it puts in work or wins games, period. I've made a lot of people scoop just because of this card. Chimera Tech Fortress. Let's be honest, it's Chimera Tech Fortress, and windups are kind of top tier decks, top meta decks. Catastor, just because it's a level 5. It's the only level 5 I run. I don't run Android, I don't run, you know, Fitzgerald, none of that crap. Catastor works great for me. Brionac, standard. Black Rose. I really haven't Black Rosed in a long time, but it's just an option. It's there. When I do Black Rose, I'm going for game. I'll never Black Rose blind and just end my turn. If I Black Rose, I'm going for game. Colossal Fighter. Colossal Fighter is still big this format, especially against the hero decks. He's a dark. Scooty Auto hasn't come out yet, so until then, Colossal Fighter is still going to be a formidable card to battle against. Exploder Dragon Wing puts in a lot of work. It's a 7. I hit this a lot more than I hit the Black Rose. It's 24. It's kind of weak for a 7, I think. But at the end of the day, his effect is just amazing. Orient Dragon. The Orient Dragon's put in a lot of work. It actually helped me win one of my games at a regionals. My opponent had an Armed Master on the field. I couldn't get over it, and I couldn't Scrap Dragon, so I just hit Orient Dragon, and bam, job done. Speaking of Scrap Dragon, there's the Scrap Dragon. Especially in a Darkness Metal deck, I abuse this card so much. With my deck, I've Scrap Dragon at least 5 times in one turn to wipe my opponent's field clean. Stardust, just to protect my field. Leviathan Dragon. He's a dragon. He's a rank 3 exceed. Brilliant standard. Utopia, also standard. And Levier, really good for bringing back the Eclipse Wyverns if I have to. But if not, just bringing back, you know, stuff that my opponent could be aiming for, and I'll just take it and keep it on my field and just stop their plans. That's the deck. My extra deck is not completed, but I haven't really had any problems so far. Just comment and rate, subscribe, ask questions, whatever. Videos going on my team page. Support, subscribe to the team page. And that's it. B Mike signing out.